I love the title of this one. Up or down? Thornton Township meeting canceled again. After location dispute. Are we going to hold our meeting? And hey, this isn't safe. Got the mayor, you got the trustees going, I don't want to hold a meeting there. Let's get into it. Here we go. I remember seeing recently one of the headlines, I think it was maybe WGN. WGN said, the title was, I can't remember if it was Dolton or Thornton. Say it was Dolton. Dolton can't even agree on where to hold their meeting. Things have become just so ground down and business is not functioning. They had a laundry list of stuff that they were going to work on during this meeting here, but instead they dicked around and you've got these disputes between the super mayor who wants to, and the reason the title is up and down, you got this building where the super mayor wants to hold it upstairs and the township where it's a smaller room, fewer exits, less safety, allegedly. And the township, the other folks on the board, they want to hold it downstairs where it's a much bigger room. And off the back side, you've got more exits. So, what's the deal? Hey, you guys just need to get things going because in the meantime, you've just got all of these meetings that have been canceled. Nothing's going on. Tiff's, doing speeches in the meantime. A standoff. You know what? Let's watch the video here.
In Thornton Township tonight as another board meeting got canceled because of a lack of a quorum.
And that came after a disagreement about where to hold the meeting as trustees expressed concerns for their safety. WGN's Jenna Barnes live in South Holland with the latest updates. Jenna.
Micah and Ray, one neighbor told me tonight she's disgusted. For the second time in a month, a Thornton Township board meeting was canceled, this time because Supervisor Tiffany Henyard and a trustee couldn't agree on where to have the meeting. As Thornton Township residents waited for the doors to open, a standoff brewed between leaders.
Right now, it appears that they're going to try to have a meeting upstairs. It is not safe up there.
Trustee Chris Gonzalez insisting on holding the meeting in a downstairs room, which can accommodate the most people, and he says has more exits. Safety, the top worry amid escalating tensions in these settings. He and another trustee, Carmen Carlile, skipped the last meeting because of the same concerns, effectively canceling that meeting.
The harassment, where it's allowed for people to literally walk up to somebody trying to say their 3 minutes, and they're not allowed to.
Supervisor Tiffany Henyard, however, tried to go on with the meeting in a smaller room upstairs. With Carlile still absent and another trustee's recent resignation, there could be no meeting without Gonzalez going up or Henyard coming down.
Hey guys, we do not have a quorum, so I'm not having a board meeting this evening.
On the agenda, the approval of bills and what's labeled as the supervisor's tax refund for all homeowners. Nothing got done.
It's just getting to be redundant. And we're getting tired of coming here, not having the laws followed, not having a meeting.
It's her fault. It's her problem, her responsibility, and she failed. She's failed everybody.
On the safety front, one neighbor noted they were wanded by security for the first time.
As you can see, to my right and to my left, we have 2 exit doors. So if any board member feel like they're not safe for any reason, they can exit out of the building.
And just because somebody's able to go out that back door safely, one person, I'm concerned about, the other 40 people that are in there.
Gonzalez says they will likely have a special meeting next week because at some point the bills do have to get paid. Henyard said at tonight's very brief meeting, this particular fight could end up in court. We're live in South Holland tonight. Jenna Barnes, WGN News.
Haven't we already been in court? I mean, literally a judge basically ruled, hey, due to the Open Meeting Act, you can't block access. You can't do this. You can't do that. You're making it difficult for the citizens to essentially do their thing. And, it's just kind of a hard no-go. So yet another meeting where nothing got resolved. And instead, they got more business stacked up. And now they're going to have a special meeting on top of the regular meeting already scheduled because they couldn't work out, hey, something sideways goes on. We don't want to be in this upstairs room. We want to be downstairs. And then you got the super mayor saying, nope, it's safe up here. Let's do it up here. Better security. Whole thing is just, you don't know whether you're coming or going. Standoff brewed Tuesday night before community members were even allowed into the Thornton Township board meeting. I don't see why it has to be a struggle, said Chris Gonzalez, one of Thornton Township's trustees. Gonzalez insisted on holding the meeting in a downstairs room that he said has more exits and can accommodate more people. Safety was his top worry amid escalating tensions that have developed at the township's board meetings. Now, what he's alluding to there is that you've had folks in the back, when they get up to speak, you've had almost, brawls break out. Not between dudes, typically. You might have one dude and one female, but oftentimes it seems like it's female on female, and people just really getting worked up. And you don't want that. You want people to feel safe. Like, hey, you can come, you can speak at the meeting, you can speak your mind no matter what it is. But what you've got is, you have got, and I recognized this last night, Tiffany Henyard did an hour and 27-minute live stream on YouTube after this meeting. Live stream. And so I watched some of that, but in the comments, this is YouTube. This is Facebook. In the comments, people were so positive and supportive of the super mayor that you're kind of left with, what part of the down under are these folks living in? They honestly believe that the super mayor is bringing positive change to the community. And they write all kinds of comments, and then you'll have somebody, pop off with, she belongs in prison. I mean, the comments they are as comical as the actual content, which is Tiffany Henyard talking for an hour and a half. And she covers a lot. I might live stream that, but she covers a ton. Some would say a whole lot of nothing. All right. Okay. Yeah. If somebody wants to talk, I'll watch it. I've watched bits and pieces of that, but bottom line is no meeting happened. Safety was his top worry, Chris Gonzalez, amid escalating tensions, because people were almost coming to blows. And whenever the last meeting was, because I can't remember, it's been so long back, right? He and Carmen Carlile didn't attend the last Board of Trustees meeting over those same concerns, effectively canceling the meeting. And then Tiffany Henyard just spoke. And then at the end, she got served. Remember that? She got served. Her landlord is trying to serve her right now. It's not going well. Tiff is elusive. She is a phantom. Got that rent money that she owes. The harassment, Gonzalez said, where it's allowed for someone to literally walk up to somebody trying to take their 3 minutes, and they're not allowed to. So he's talking about the public comment period, where individuals have 3 minutes to say whatever they want. Now, there was one at the end of the last meeting where we're talking about things coming to blows. There was, and I remember following, I think it was Critical Smoker. We followed Critical Smoker, or maybe it was Reality Check TV Chicago. One of those guys. I think it was Reality Check TV Chicago, live streamer, local in Chicago. He's walking up the stairs, and people are like concerned that a brawl is going to break out. The people are concerned that people are getting out of that building safely. There's concerns for people's safety, and I recognize that. And it happened because at the end of the meeting, there was a resident who basically insinuated that the super mayor needed to be whacked on the snout like a dog to discipline her. Well, that kind of set off this, exchange between residents. And it was quite boisterous. Let's just put it that way, where you're sitting back going, good Lord, is somebody going to whip out a gun here? Now at tonight or last night's, meeting that should have happened, they wanted people as they went in. I got no problem with that. You shouldn't be bringing a gun. I mean, it's illegal to bring a gun into a town hall meeting, isn't it? Although this is Chicago. Anything goes? I'm not really sure. Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard, who was mired in controversy, both as supervisor of Thornton Township and as mayor of South Suburban Dolton, tried to go on with the meeting in a smaller room in the buildings upstairs. But with Carlile absent and another trustee's resignation, there could be no meeting without Gonzalez going upstairs or Henyard going downstairs. They've just got this. They're playing this chess game with bodies. All right. If she's up there and I'm down here, and the other guy, what was the other guy's name? He quit. We're not really sure why. He said he was going to work on his health, something like that. Dude, quit. They don't have a quorum, meaning you don't have a majority of the trustees, and so you can't do business and you can't vote on stuff, right? So didn't have enough bodies in one room to make it go. Hey, guys, we do not have a quorum, Henyard could be heard saying Tuesday night. We will not be having a board meeting this evening. When is this township? When are they going to pay some bills? When are they going to put through some of this stuff? Because they got a bunch of business outstanding. They got a ton of business outstanding. We're going to, once I wrap up with this article right here, we're going to go watch Critical Smoker. He interviewed Chris Gonzalez on this very topic, and he talks some about some of the other things that they were going to go over, and this refund, the supervisor's tax refund for all homeowners. It's a big deal. It's, they've got a surplus. They've got a surplus of, some say it's up to $9 million in the township of Thornton. I find it very hard to believe that there's a surplus of $9 million in Thornton, township of Thornton, and then there's a deficit of 5, 6 something million in village of Dolton, where she is the mayor. You got some numbers that aren't adding up right. You know what I mean? Now, township of Thornton consists of 17 essentially villages, I believe is the right terminology. It's the biggest township in Illinois. So you got some real money rolling through there. Whereas in the village of Dolton, you've got a couple million coming in from tax revenue, property taxes into the village each month. So you got a budget of like 24 million versus a budget of whatever it is for township of Thornton, way more. Let's put that technical number out there. How much was it? It was way more, Your Honor. So it's always been about her when it comes down to it, said LaSharon Carter, a South Holland resident. We heard her talk. So business is not being conducted. It's so divided in Dolton, and it's so divided in Thornton because Tiffany Henyard, she goes on the offensive. Like literally last night, there's no meeting because they couldn't work it out. She spits out an hour and a half live stream on YouTube or on Facebook, and her constituents love her for that. It's wild. It's wild. She's got a real following. We got to put somebody new in. We're not going to reelect her, added Angela Hill, a Dolton resident. She's done. History. So the super mayor, Tiffany Henyard, she would argue that mainstream media is only, and YouTubers, because we're clickbait, she would argue that we're only giving the perspective of the naysayers, the people who don't like Tiffany Henyard. Well, it's because they focus on reality, and the other folks who are rah, 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 go tiff, tiff, go super mayor, they're just basically cheerleaders, in my opinion. Because given the opportunity for Tiffany Henyard to bring facts to her version of reality, she always promises, we're going to do that. We're going to show you. I'm going to show you how. You're going to be shocked. It's going to be shocking. And then it never happens. And you're left with, okay, so the meeting didn't happen. You got the Illinois Attorney General talking about the Open Meeting Act. You've got this, you've got that. And it always, paints Tiffany Henyard in a poor light. Like she's literally dodging the process server from the Cook County Sheriff's Office, and she's dodging her landlord. She's changed the locks on her homes. She's behind in a couple of months' rent. And this is somebody that's making upwards of, she's making $287 between Village of Dolton and Township of Thornton, making $287K a year herself, and her boyfriend, who is married, that lives with her in the rental home that they're behind on rent on, makes $100K working for one of these governmental entities. So they're upwards of $400K and they can't meet their rent. What's going on? Yeah, we're living in the down under, right? On the safety front, one local resident told WGN News that they were wanded by security for the first time, and we saw evidence of that, people getting wanded. You know what? I'm okay with that. I mean, I just am. It's safety, right? I went to an Iron Maiden concert last week and you go through a metal detector. I'm like, yeah, I got no metal on me. I got a watch. I'll take off my watch and put it in your little thing. Whatever. Yeah, it makes it safer for everybody, right? To my right and to my left, we have 2 exit doors, Henyard said. So if any board member feels like they are not safe for any reason, they can exit out of the building. But the lower building room is much bigger, and it's got more exits because this is a below grade building. I'm going to go real estate on you here for a second. This is a below grade building. So the sides further out on the top floor and the back end of the top floor are all elevated 10 feet over the basement level. So they don't have exits there. Now, the lower level is daylight basement, meaning you've got multiple exits off the back. So it's easier to get out of the basement than it is upstairs. And that's some of the big deal. But Tiffany Henyard says, hey, we've got 2 exit doors right here. And the trustees say, no, this isn't safe. Just because somebody's able to get out that back door safely, one person, I'm concerned about the other 40 people who are there, Chris Gonzalez says. Chris Gonzalez seems like a reasonable dude. Let's go ahead and watch a little bit from Critical Smoker, who was good enough to film this clip. It's a good clip. Let's watch it.
So what's going on with the security issue?
Well, we just feel that it's not there's not a true procedure.
Let's do this.
A lot of what it really comes down to, upstairs just isn't the safest place to have the meeting. There's not enough seats. There's not enough room. There's only one true exit. Those 2 back doors go into a back area. They don't go to the outside. If something, God forbid, was to happen up there, it's going to be a disaster.
So what would be your solution to make it safer?
Although it's not perfect, we would obviously, the first step is to have the meeting downstairs where you have 3 exits. You have a larger room. That would be the first step. Still not perfect, but it's going in the right direction. We have reached out to, try to get some, law enforcement presence here. You're trying to hear back. We're waiting to hear back from that, cause that becomes where, lawyer has to talk to another lawyer and hash things out. So those are kind of some of the steps to us that are initial, that are crucial though, that what we're looking at, but it really, everything kind of comes down to the safety right now. You have people who don't feel safe coming to the meeting, and that's not right. We have some of the officials who don't feel safe coming to the meeting, and that, obviously not right either. So, I came tonight. I want the meeting, I feel, should be downstairs. We've gotten correspondence from, the state saying you have to accommodate everybody. As you can see, there were people downstairs who weren't being accommodated. Now, if we would have had a meeting downstairs, everybody would have been able to be.
Is there another venue that they could move it to that?
It's come up. Like I said, we could do it here. We just have to, like I said, take some more steps though. Like I said, having some more, security, law enforcement presence. And like I said, just bottom line is having a meeting downstairs where it really should be, where we could accommodate everybody. Like I said, there's at least more exits, things like that. So, different venue. I don't think it's necessarily something we're looking at, although, we wouldn't rule it out. But, like I said, just kind of common sense things that make, initially, like I said, we could have it downstairs. We could have, some more law enforcement presence and where people are going to feel safe. Fortunately, people who call me and say, hey, I would come. I want to come, but I just don't feel it's safe. So, and then, like I said, that and other officials as well saying, you had a supervisor when 2 weeks ago, there was at the meeting, obviously, as well. And there was a lot of the same concerns they were addressed. But, if I remember correctly on the video, it was said that, I feel safe. Well, that's all fine. But if people don't, we have to serve everybody. It's not about one person. It's about everybody. So that's really where we're at with that.
Also on the agenda, people were asking about the rebate for home.
All right. Check out Critical Smoker if you want to see because that interview goes another, 13 minutes there, something like that. And they kind of get into everything that was supposed to happen in that meeting, but didn't. So like so many of the meetings that have been not happening. This is a power struggle, folks. This is just straight up a power struggle. You've got some reasonable trustees, in my opinion. You've got an unreasonable supermayor that wants things her way, and she is convinced that she is right, and she's having to go to court. I mean, and all of this stuff is ending up in court because they need a judge to basically rule on, no, you can't do that. Yep, you can do that. Nope. Attorney General says this, so I mean, just a ton of conflict going on. And at the end of the day, the unfortunate part is the constituents of the village of Dolton and the township of Thornton, they are the ones getting hosed because government is not functioning remotely the way that it should in order to take care of civic business like you do. All right. That's it for me on this one. Thanks so much for being here. And again, to Critical Smoker for the piece at the end. Very helpful, kind of more of a deep dive into why aren't we holding the meeting there, or what are we doing? Thanks again. We'll catch up soon. Bye for now.